What's up, everybody? House of Agendas podcast back again. Kenzie, what is going on, man?
Um, you know, Wizards being the Wizards.
Is that a
Jets.
good thing?
Look, man, maybe my win total was a bit high, but
Yeah.
well, relax. But we're still going to get over 40 cleanly. Bradley Beal is in health and safety protocols for the fourth time. That man's immune system is crazy. But the Jets I'll be alive. I said so. This coming, but they're doing their thing. But yeah, man.
They really are. It's
Yeah.
really crazy.
Yeah.
That was we'll get into it a little bit more later, but really fantastic win for you guys. I couldn't believe it myself. Browns are on a bye. Cavs are looking good so far. Had a little mishap we'll talk about later when we get to it. College basketball's back, so that's exciting for me. Go Flyers. Does Rutgers play any sports?
Yeah. They got mad sports. Their football team's up and down. Some weeks they look decent. Others, I look at the ticker, they be getting smoked.
Yeah.
I don't follow their basketball team. I used to kind of follow their women's basketball team, but I haven't watched that in a while.
Yeah. Other than that, we had a really big week in sports. A lot to go over for us today. Let's start off on something we've debated off camera quite a bit recently. Do we still have the same 3 MVP candidates, do you think?
Yes.
Has anybody entered the top 3 that we haven't discussed for you? I mean, has anybody gotten to that where hey, one more big week and they're in there? Maybe it turns into a top 4.
I've seen some arguments for Tua, and while some of them are valid, I just can't see it. Maybe it's the time missed, or maybe it's a case of coming into the season, I didn't even have him top 30 MVP. So even now that he's doing good, I'm yeah, whatever. But nah, I can't have him top 3 yet.
I was thinking similarly. Tua, I remember if you recall, I predicted Tua being a top 5 MVP candidate to start when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can get there, but I don't know if he can get into the top 3. Now, this hurts me to say, but if Allen has another game like that, that opens the door into that third place spot. Unfortunately, you can't have a game like that where you're giving the game away. Credit to the Jets defense, obviously, but go ahead and give me your top 3. I know who's third. Give us your top 2 then.
Number 2, Jalen Hurts. Number 1, my homeboy. Let me tell you about Patrick Mahomes right now, man.
This should be interesting because only you could overrate this game.
Let me tell you about Patrick Mahomes. My man's had a fourth quarter comeback, 500 total yards against a team that was on a 5-game winning streak.
Do you know? You want to know who they beat in that 5-game winning streak?
It's not relevant.
Okay.
I don't think it's relevant.
All
right. The fact, do you believe that there's some people who say that a 500-yard game is okay, it's average, it's not great? That's not his best game ever, but come on, man. He rushed for 60-something, passed for over 420. The interception wasn't even really on him. That was a Kelsey interception. It was a 2-yard route and it bounced off Kelsey's hands. What?
Yeah, that's fair. But
yeah,
here's the thing. Dude, throwing 70 times in a football game is insane. That's an insane amount of throws.
And what makes it crazy is right before that game, remember how Brady passed 60 times? I was just cooking Brady. I said,
but 60, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. When Brady did it, it was the worst game you've ever seen. Mahomes, he averaged 6.5 yards a throw, and he threw it.
Hey, that Tennessee defense underrated, man. That pass rush was on him.
Yeah. So, I have it. Allen, Mahomes, Hurts. What, baby? Okay, let's go. I have it Allen, Mahomes, Hurts. I move Hurts into first place because 8-0 is really good. And I mentioned that I don't think Mahomes played bad, but I also don't think it was like 70 times is a lot to only throw for 6 yards a pass. Give his numbers a little context. 8-0. The Eagles have the highest turnover margin. They're like 3 times the next team. It's insane, how well they're doing with turnover margin. Hurts has 18 total touchdowns, two turnovers. That's it. That's really hard to beat right now. His yardage is obviously not going to be the same as Mahomes and Allen, but he's also not throwing the ball the same as those two, which there's a reason for. But at the same time, you don't turn over the ball, you win your games, you have solid numbers. I'm going to give him some respect this week. But yeah, Allen is third. You can't have that against the Jets are a solid team, but you can't turn the ball over twice like that. He admitted himself he played like shit. So Allen third, Mahomes second, Hurts first. I think it's Mahomes' race to lose right now going into the next week, unfortunately. That takes us into another very important category, power rankings. Let's see. Last week we had where are they at? I'm trying to see who we had last week and in what order.
I think I remember at least 4 of my teams. I don't know who I had at 5.
I'm trying to think. You had. Okay, let's see. You had last week. You had. No, that doesn't sound right. No, you had Eagles, Chiefs, Buffalo, Vikings, 49ers.
Oh yeah, I definitely did.
Yep. So, where are you at this week with that? For your power rankings.
Number 5.
Okay.
I'll be taking the New York Jets. We just took down,
quote
unquote, powerhouse in the Buffalo Bills. Zach, he wasn't. At this point, I accepted he's like not going to be like a 350-yard wow kind of play type of guy. He's like going to be a game manager plus at least at this point in his career. But honestly, when you have the running game and the defense that we have, that's kind of all you need. Number 4, give me the Ravens. They've been good the past 2 weeks. The Saints, I don't know. They're like hard to gauge. Sometimes they look like they're top 5 pick down. Other times they look really good. But Baltimore, that game was like never close outside of like the first quarter. So
yeah,
Baltimore's running game, I think it's like their 8th game in a row over 100 yards or over something like that. It's just
but here's the thing: Baltimore should never have a game where they're not over 100 yards.
Yeah, like them in Tennessee, Tennessee and I guess like the 49ers, they're not going in that trend of like 30, 40 passes a game.
When did we not go over 100 yards though?
Did y'all versus New England?
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. That's probably the game where it was.
Yeah.
No, you're right. That's fair.
Number 3, I'll be taking Minnesota. Like last week, I said they were quite a 6-1 team. Now they're like the quite a 7-1 team. It's like 7-1, and if you say, "Oh, who's like going to make the Super Bowl?" people might rattle off like 5-6 teams before they say Minnesota. They kind of, although I hope they don't go out like this, since I like players on that team. They kind of like the last year's Jazz, like last 2 years Jazz with the NFL. They're like, "Oh yeah, great record, but whatever."
Yeah.
Number 2, I'll take the Eagles, and with them and the Chiefs, like obviously I got the Chiefs number 1. Both of their wins weren't pretty. Like, I think the Eagles were tied with the Texans like in the 3rd quarter. That's, I'm not going to say alarming because trap games happen, but like that was unexpected. And obviously, Chiefs number 1.
Which, fair, Titans are tough. That's a good win for the Chiefs, however you want to shake it. beating the run game, even though it is one dimensional.
Yeah,
it's hard to beat a team that just bangs and beats on you all game like the Titans do. Okay, for me, I had at 5, I had the Ravens coming off the Monday night win against the Saints. That defense looks like it's getting better and better.
yeah. Queen made an immediate impact. Like I heard his name on the call like 5 times. He made an impact.
Yeah, no, well,
not Queen,
but
Smith. Yeah,
Roquan Smith. Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say Queen. Yeah, he was already good, but I had the Bills at 4. Yeah, bad loss. Allen did not play well. Here's the thing: you guys beat them. Do you think you're better than them? It's a great win. I'm not trying to take anything away from you, but the reality is, I think they're probably better than you guys still. Which, if I would have probably the Jets at 6. If the Ravens maybe got tripped up, the Jets would be at 5. I have the Vikings at 3. 7-1 is impressive, but we don't have anything to talk about. Like, what I thought was very interesting about them and how they're winning. Justin Jefferson's has 2 touchdown catches. One was week 1, and one was this past week. He went 6 or 7 weeks without catching a touchdown. That's crazy to me that they're winning without him scoring. Like, that's a random stat that you just wouldn't think of when you have somebody as talented as Justin Jefferson. This kind of mirrors my MVP approach. I had the Chiefs at number 2. Good win against the Titans. I wanted to ask you. I know you like to spin things. In what world did Travis Kelce not?
They were they were hand fighting and they both grabbed each other.
But here's the thing: if one guy ends up with their helmet off and on the ground, and the other guy that was a really, really tough call. How about just not call anything if they're going to fight like that?
Oh yeah,
just let it play out. If you're going to have
when I saw his helmet off, I was like, uh-oh, 2-point conversion failed. Then when it was in Casey's favor, I was like, oh, well, I'll take it.
We know where that game was played, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But they still found a way to win. I wouldn't recommend throwing the ball 70 times and being impressed by that. Eagles 8-0. I think being 8-0 earns you that number 1 spot, even if I think the Chiefs would probably beat them heads up. I think the Chiefs would struggle with that Eagles defense, just like I think the Bills would struggle against the Eagles defense. I think anybody would struggle with the Eagles defense when they're on. Obviously, Houston gave them some trouble, but that first half, Houston they look like a different team. Houston's got a very strong running back in Pierce. So, it happens. Jordan Davis is out. There's some things, the Eagles are moving some things around. That takes us in. We're going to give you guys a little love here on the podcast. The New York Football Jets. You've got 6-3 now?
Yeah, 6-3 with a bye this week.
6-3 with a bye. I wrote down for what I thought so far that I'm impressed with from you guys. Sauce.
Yeah.
Your coach Saleh, your defense in general. Talk to me about the impact of having a shutdown corner from day one. How has that changed? How's that changed what you guys are doing on defense? Because Diggs had the one big play, and after that, it was very difficult. So talk to me a little bit about Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, it's crazy how the front line and the back line, they both help each other. Usually if you have a good pass rush, you got to get there quickly because your corners can't hold up, or your corners can only hold up so long because you don't have a pass rush. But we got it both. Let me highlight everybody. This DJ Reed, Sauce, even Eccles, when he plays in the slot, they're just great in coverage. We can go man. We still play a little bit too much zone for my liking, but when we go man, we really shut it down, and we rotate 10 guys deep down linemen, and usually you don't do that. Why?
Great amount of depth.
yeah, it's really, really crazy. But I guess it's like to keep people fresh, and it really works because as mobile as Allen is, like we were like able to harass him. And the week before that, we got like 6 or 7 sacks on Mac Jones. So like the defense has just like been impressing me a lot. The wide receiver, the wide receiver group and like the skill positions in general, like between the running backs and wide receivers, there's Garrett Wilson, man. I think he's. Do you know who's first among rookies in catches and yards? Because I know it kept saying Garrett Wilson was second.
It's Olave from the Saints. The two
Yeah,
Ohio State guys are 1 and 2.
Yeah. So like,
I think
Wilson,
the couple weeks where you guys weren't able to throw the ball didn't help with that.
Yeah. So like the Wilson, not going to get offensive rookie of the year, obviously, but like he's definitely going to be in the runnings.
Yeah.
What was crazy is Brees Hall might have got it, but like he's out for the year now. But Michael Carter Robinson, like the drive that salted the game away, we were like the Bills punted. We was at our 5. I was just like, Zach, don't turn it over. We're at the 5. If anything, just run, punt, and play defense again. We literally ran, like, Matt in the inside zone and stuff.
Yeah.
We literally ran from our 5 to their, like, 30 straight runs. Like,
I think I read it was 15 runs for 77 yards or something crazy like that.
Yeah, like
that's insane.
On one drive, when Buffalo knew we were running the ball, we were just like running it down their throat. And the kick on special teams is good. Greg the leg. The only thing that we don't have at like an elite level right now is Zach. But as long as he's not turning the ball over 2 or 3 times a game, I can live with what he's doing.
And then touch on your guys' coach now. Second year, you can see see the difference in like.
I first saw Salah like on the 49ers, like when they made they're exactly playing y'all. Like I think it was a play after Bosa got Baker.
Yeah.
And like I saw like how animated he was. I was like, oh, I like that. I like that energy. So like when I found out we was getting him, it kind of reminded me of Rex. Like, when a big play happens, just like so animated. Like he's one of the guys.
Yeah.
And he really has his playing. He really has the energy going. Like whenever there's a big hit or like a big play, he gets excited. And early in the season, like when we felt like 1 and 2, he was like, oh, I know we're good. Yeah, I keep talking bad about us. I'm going to keep receipts. And he kept them, and he's showing out, man. I don't know. The coach of the year, honestly, it might come down to like Dable or Salah. I'm hoping it goes to us, man. But yeah, salute to Salah, man.
Yeah, he's been really impressive this year. Okay, so after the bye, your next 3 opponents are the Pats, the Bears, the Vikings. What do you see for your guys in the next 3 games?
Okay, Pats, we should have beat them. It would have been 17-3. We got a pick 6 call back, and Zach just imploded for some reason. The Bills in Buffalo.
No, Bears.
Oh yeah, Bears. Yeah, that changes everything. Now, yeah, I think we can go 2-1 now. Fields has been playing better, like a lot better, but I still think we're the better team. And then the Vikings, that's going to be tough. Yeah. That's in Minnesota, right?
Let me double check, but I think so.
Because we've been home a lot recently. So
you're at New England, home for the Bears, at Minnesota. So 2 away games and 1 and 2 away games and 1 at home. So if you can go 2-1 in that road trip, dude, you guys are like, that's crazy.
No way we're going 0-3. 1 and 2 I'll take, but it'll hurt. But I feel like 2-1.
I think it's fair for how well your guys' defense played. If Zach could be anything above what he is, it would be such a different story. That's going to take us into my team. We're coming off a bye. We're in a really important part of our schedule. It's a hard part of our schedule.
3 weeks till Deshaun, right?
We've got 3 weeks until Watson gets back. We are at 3-5 right now. Our next 3 games are, oh man, Dolphins. It's tough, dude. It's a tough road. Dolphins in Miami, Bills in Buffalo, Tampa Bay at home.
Jesus.
3-5. Okay,
Oh
so
man.
here's the thing. I'm wondering if after watching the Lions play the Dolphins, if we could somehow try to mimic the way they played. And if anything, I think we should have a better time keeping the ball away from the Dolphins because that's the only way we're going to be able to beat them. Chubb's going to have a big game. We're going to have a lot of time of possession, and we're going to have to limit, Hill and Waddle are going to get a lot of yards against us. It's just how it's going to be. We got to limit the scores for those guys, to even have a chance. To me, it looks like the best case scenario would be going 1-2. But silver lining, Allen's got some issues with his elbow. I wonder if maybe he sits out one of these couple games coming up to rest his elbow going forward.
Yeah.
If he does that against us, we've got a chance. But other than that, it's going to be very hard.
Who even is their backup
quarterback? What?
Who even is their backup? It was Mitch last year, but he's not there no more.
No, it's what's the guy's name? Let me look. I can't remember his name now.
Is it Josh Rosen?
Is it? No, it's Matt Barkley or Case Keenum. Case Keenum. Case Keenum's their backup. So, we've got to go 1-2 in that situation, and even then, that puts Watson at such a disadvantage going into the last couple games. I think our season's pretty much on the line every week going forward to even try to make a wild card because we're just that far behind.
Yeah, I mean, I could on the optimistic side, I could see a 2-1 because although Tampa won, it wasn't like and then Miami, Tua's not going to go undefeated as the starter forever. So so 2 you could spin it to 2-1.
So got to hope for big rushing games. Cooper's got to play really well. Brissett's got to keep the ball from turning over. These next 3 weeks are do or die. It's got to be everything on the line. Defense has got to play their ass off like they did against the Bengals, and they got a chance. But I think 2-1's the absolute peak because I don't think if Josh Allen's playing, we can beat the Bills. But our defense is. We just don't have the defense to play.
I was going to say bucket for bucket, you can't. But the past few weeks they've been able to get ran on. So if Chubb has like a 150 game, maybe. But I don't think y'all can guard them.
And I just want to shout out Derrick Henry for calling Nick Chubb the best running back in the NFL.
Oh, he did.
I appreciate that, big guy. I appreciate that quite a bit.
That's crazy.
That takes us into the NFL or the NBA. A lot going on in the NBA, man. We might as well get this over with now. What are your thoughts on Kyrie Irving?
Look, man.
Now, do we want to go off your favorites and your retweets on Twitter, or how you feel on the podcast? Because I'm interested in both.
All right, off rip. Anybody who's acting like he shouldn't have gotten in trouble, you're bugging. You literally can't do that, bro. Like even if he didn't say a word about the documentary, simply posting a link to something that crazy, and you expect him not to be reprimanded, and then when the announcers would the reporters were trying to ask him about it, he was just saying flip floppy things. At first he was like, "Oh, I have an army behind me." Then he was like, "Oh." Then he said something else that conflicted. That is just no. And on the flip side, if a black player would like to tweet out something anti-white or something, or on the flip side, they would be in mad trouble. You just can't do things like that. Now, granted, I do think the Nets, they kind of are ODing.
You want to hear the stipulations for him to get back on the court?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets. He's got to apologize and condemn the video.
Yeah, that's fair.
That shouldn't be hard. He's got to donate the $500K. I'm not sure how that's going to go over because I guess the people that he donated it to sent it back because of the way he was going about his conferences and
they did.
I guess they didn't feel like he was remorseful, or however you want to word it. Sensitivity training, anti-Semitism training, and then he's got to meet with the ADL and some Jewish leaders in the community of Brooklyn, and then he's got to meet with the owner again, meet with Joe Tsai to, I guess, show remorse.
Yeah, it sounds like the sensitivity training. That's like something like you would hear like out of The Office. It's just
right.
I think Shannon said like this morning or yesterday. Like I understand like what he did was bad, but at like those side quests like 2K, now you're trying to like strip him of his integrity. So granted, I don't agree at all with what he did. It was wild. I agreed with the 5-game suspension.
Right. This is on top of a 5-game suspension.
Yeah.
So this is like,
so like the first thing, what was the first thing?
Apologize and condemn the video.
Yeah, that's 100% valid. The donation still valid, but then like when you go into like go to these trainings, then meet with me, so I know you're truly sorry. That's a bit extra.
So like, here's the thing, like meeting with these people, if you really feel some kind of way, like that's not going to just go away. Like, and I really don't know. I don't know if he really, how he really feels. This whole thing is kind of turned into something that I never even really knew existed. Like to me, I never knew. But you read some of these comments on stuff and on Twitter, and like, I just had no idea. Like, people felt this way.
Like at first, I thought like it was just like a pro straight up pro black book, and then like when I went down the thread, I was like, it said what?
Well, like, and like I don't want to turn this into something like that it's not, but like I don't know, man. I haven't met a lot of Jewish people. I don't really know how this all goes, but that's a lot of hatred coming their way right now, unfortunately. And what are you? Do you think Kyrie comes back and plays with the Nets?
Yeah, I think he does. Like if this keeps him out the whole year, I think at that point that's just like petty on both sides. Because at this point, just like try to trade the man. But
now, another thing that if nobody wants to trade for him, then what are you going to do?
Oh yeah. But something else that's crazy about like what he said and like how he was refusing to apologize. I think out of the 5 boroughs, Brooklyn has the most Jews. So what are you doing, bro?
Look, here and. Did you know people felt this way? Like you're a black man. Did you know people felt this way about?
No, that's like it's everything. Just caught me off guard. Oh, and another side tangent. Like, when people are trying to say, "Oh, how come Brett Favre don't come out and apologize?" Because he will literally be arrested if he admits. Like, I think they're just trying to conflate things that really can't be like
a criminal case and something like this. Public opinion are not the same thing. Unfortunately, they're just not.
Like if Brett Favre, like they want Brett Favre to send out a tweet. Oh yeah, hey guys, sorry, for stealing the money. That's self snitching. Why would he do that?
1 sec, I'll be right back.
All right. But yeah, man. Like I said, I don't think and I don't agree with what Kyrie did. I think he should have just like came out and apologized like the next day, but he was stubborn. And to be honest, some people don't even think he watched the full movie or read the full book. But these type of things happen, my boy. These type of things happen.
I just never had any idea. Like I really didn't. But so I mean that's so I've coming from my end where just a dude from Ohio, I had no idea, but it's good to know. I guess
I honestly I didn't even I saw the word like anti-Semitic on my timeline in these past 2 weeks, and I did my whole life.
No, I've never seen this word unless I've seen like a documentary or something on the time, like on the 40s or like that kind of stuff. I never had heard. Yeah. Like this is the most I've ever heard of any of it. So it's been a wild couple weeks for,
It's
the
crazy.
NBA, entertainers. I mean, it's been, Kanye is going through it's crazy.
Oh yeah, and then you have I think it was AB that posted the picture of Kanye. Like I mean Kyrie. It's like yo, those three are just like the most polarizing people. Oh man,
Like, is that who you want to be on like your side? Like, is that the guys you want? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
that's just no.
That's obviously very touch and go topic because a lot is going on with that. But the stipulations to me, I'm good with an apology. A donation's great. Maybe some learning on the situation.
Yeah,
The problem is both sides tell you so many different things. It's so hard to keep anything straight at this point.
right.
So I try not to even get into it. But having 6 things you have to do before you get back on the court is a lot in this situation. And like you said with the Brett Favre thing, one's a criminal case and one's, hey, you're getting canceled. It's not
Yeah,
like not the same thing of going to jail for fraud. Like, unfortunately, I get it at some point. That's kind of like he said, she said. We're trying to keep it separate because they are separate, unfortunately.
right.
Let's get into a happier topic. We're going to go with the NBA reverse power rankings. We're going with your bottom 5 NBA teams. Who is your worst team in the league right now?
I'm not going record wise, but obviously, like at the bottom, the record is probably bad. I don't want to, but it might have to be the Lakers, man. I think, granted, they played quote unquote better recently, but they're like what 2-7, like 3-7, and I think
they're 2-8.
Damn, man! Oh my god! But yeah, I saw a stat recently that they're the worst catch and shoot team of the past 10 years. They started like the season off like the first 3-4 games like the worst shooting stretch in history.
That's really bad.
Yeah, and then
so what do you think's going on with Anthony Davis, man? There's starting to be rumors about him asking for a trade, or like being traded, asking for a trade, and his shooting splits suck. He's just a knockdown mid-range shooter.
I don't know. It seems like after the championship, like he just doesn't have a motor. But it's crazy because in the bubble, AD over Giannis wasn't a bad take, and now he's just
not even in the same.
Like
realm.
I think what it said like in the second half yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever, when they played, he had like 2 points in the second half.
Jared Allen locked him up.
Yeah, so he's just
man. And it's been nice for Russ that he's had this little resurgence coming off the bench and getting some love, but they're still not winning. It hasn't changed. Like, it's great for him. He looks better, more comfortable, but they're not winning. So it's kind of, I don't know. LeBron's been bad. I think it might be time. It might just be that he's not going to be the same guy.
Yeah, because like he can still get like his 25, 8, and 6. And it just don't hit. It's kind of like KD's like 30 points right now. Like, all right, but yeah. And let me see.
Okay, so you had LA as the worst.
Yeah, but that's like also to do with expectations. Like the teams I have above them, like the Magic and Rockets. Like obviously, I'll take the Lakers to beat them, but I guess like it's due with the expectations. So yeah, next I'll have I'll just group them together, like the Magic, Pacers, Rockets. Granted, I haven't watched much of these teams, but they're like I guess in the Wembanyama, however you say his name, did like in his
Wembanyama.
Yeah, so like they're in his sweepstakes and add Indiana in there if I did it as well.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
But as far as the Magic, they don't miss with number 1 picks. I'll tell you that much. Like if you're drafted number 1 with the Magic, you are probably going to be a superstar.
That dude can play.
Yeah,
he can play right now. I feel like you throw him in a playoff series as a starting power forward, and he's ready to go. Like that's the kind of guy he is already.
Yeah.
Now, can his shooting improve? Like his percentage, sure, but he's gonna go out there. He's gonna be physically able to hold his own. He can score. He can pass. He can rebound. The dude is very talented. The Rockets look really bad for that pick right now.
Yeah, I know.
Jabari Smith has not been good. But my bottom 5 was Houston. I got them as the worst. I had LA as second. I think LA is second because you have LeBron and AD and you're still this bad. Like, it's crazy.
Yo, and Kendrick Nunn.
Kendrick Nunn's going for the worst player in the league. Like, he's trying to win the title of being worst player in the league.
I saw so many 0-4s. I was like, yo, what is happening?
I had Orlando at 3. I thought they would be better. I wasn't, just better. They're really bad. I have Charlotte at 4. Charlotte.
Yeah, they're so bad. I literally forgot about them. That's how
they just don't have any talented players. Yeah. Like, really, they really don't. LaMelo's hurt, and Hayward's he's just not the same. Mm-hmm. And then I had Sacramento. Sacramento's fun to watch. I don't know if you've been able to catch any Sacramento. They are fun to watch, but they're kind of stuck. I mean, Fox is good. Sabonis is good. They're going to probably end up trading Harrison Barnes eventually. Mm-hmm. So I had that. Those are my bottom 5. Take us into what's going on with the Washington Wizards.
We don't run a modern offense. Like, we don't. It's just quite simply. I'm not saying throw up threes like the 2018 Rockets, but we don't shoot enough threes. And I know Bill, like, he's improved as an all-around player, but even he's mostly like a mid-range that gets to the basket guy. Like, we need that Bill from like his first 3-4 years that was one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. And KP's been good. He's like doing around what I expected. Like, he's around like 18 and 8. I do wish he rebounded better, given that he's 7'3" and like he's semi-athletic. Kuzma's going to Kuzma. Some games he'll have like 22, 8, and 7. Other games he'll have like 12. So Kuzma's going to Kuzma, and honestly, it's just our defense right now, man. Like, not saying the long right is Tony Allen, but before he went out, we looked a lot better on defense. So it's just a mix.
Come back.
I think it was, when I checked, it was like 4 to 6 weeks, and that was like 2 weeks ago. So he's never going to be back before Christmas unless like there's a setback.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mix of inconsistent offense and just bad defense.
I wanted to ask you about Denny Advia's defense. Is that still all-time great? Is he an all-time great pick dodger? Is that what he was?
He was a phenomenal pick dodger, phenomenal at chasing shooters off the line, and he can slide his feet. Denny, he's never going to get the credit for it because, like, he's like a bench player for the Wizards, but he is one of the best on-ball defenders. If you have, I was about to say if you have Durant, but he embarrassed us. So we was down 40 to the Nets on Saturday.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be a stretch.
Yeah, all right. So I'll say, like, if you have anybody that's not like a top 5 scorer in the league, Denny Avdia can probably guard them.
Okay. Has anybody on this team surprised you? Like, we know Brad's still. Your top 3 guys are still good. Has anybody surprised you besides your top 3? Brad, KP, and Kuzma was who I would have as your top 3. So has anybody besides them surprised you in a good way?
Let me see. I would guess Monte Morris, but it's not like he's like doing great. It was just he's a bit better than I expected. Like he can get hot. I think versus y'all he had like 3 or 4 threes. So like he's like one of those J.R. Smith spark plug type of players. So yeah, he surprised me a bit.
Is he still your starting point guard?
Yes.
See, but isn't that kind of weird because Beal's been playing that distributor role also?
Yeah, that's another reason we've been struggling. We don't need like how Chris Paul is like for Booker and Mitchell has been playing like a lot of the ones since Garland been out, but like Mitchell's so off guard. Like in his days in Utah, he had Rubio like initiating. Yeah, we don't need Brad to be a combo guard. We need Brad to average 25, 26, and we don't need him say get 25, 26, and also initiate the offense. Oh yeah, right. And also can you guard one of the best wings on the other team? Like we're just asking too much, man.
Okay, so do you guys ever run the lineup of if you're gonna be able to be a distributor, why not run Beal, Advia, Rui, Kuzma, KP? Do you guys run that lineup at all? Because
No, but honestly,
wouldn't that be a good defensive lineup for you guys?
yeah, oh yeah, that would be very good defensively, but that would be a nasty offensive lineup. Like the Bill
But that would give Beal what I mean.
at that point, Beal is the only player who could like consistently beat somebody off the dribble. That might get
Yeah, but I would just run high pick and roll with
with KP.
and then have Kuzma in the corner and Ruri have the dunker spot.
Yeah, it'll work out. It was just like
I just didn't know if you guys had been trying any different lineups with.
And honestly, that might be our 5 best players, so we might as well just try.
That's what I thought. I figured they were your best.
Yeah.
And what's your guys' record now?
We won
I know you guys are in the play-in as we speak.
Yeah, we won last night, so let me check. Wizards.
What, 5-6? Does that sound right?
Yeah, 5-6. Yuck, below 500. What are we doing? Yuck.
Yuck. So are they a play-in team to you right now? Then you can be fair for once. It's okay.
Oh yeah, 7 counts as play-in because I was definitely about to say 7 seed. So by default, I guess.
Okay. I was thinking more like 8 or 9, but that's fine. Okay, well then let's switch it over to my team. Let me ask you this. I think it is a little bit of a surprise that they've been this good. I did expect them to be very good. 8-2 is very, very good.
That's crazy.
I do want to touch on the loss to the Clippers last night. I don't remember seeing a last 4 minutes in an NBA game where your best player wasn't getting the ball. Garland, this was a perfect example of why we went out and got Donovan Mitchell. Garland, he's a good player, but he's not a clutch, trade you bucket for bucket type guy. He turned the ball over in bad spots. He took bad shots. Really gave them an issue, really gave the Clippers a lot in that last 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Still 8-2 play. We'll play the Kings on Wednesday, which I think should be a win. Get back in the win column. I want to shout out Donovan Mitchell, man. We knew he was good. This is the best he's ever been. He's averaging 31 and 6 assists right now on 50% shooting, 45 from 3. That's not gonna stay that way this whole season. But damn, has he been good?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is potentially one of the best all-around rosters in the NBA, but we are legitimately missing a small forward. Isaac Okoro is just not. He's not it. You don't have to guard him on the offensive end. He's a solid defender, but watching Norman Powell last night play, if we flipped him and Okoro, I think that.
How come? Why don't y'all start Osman? Isn't he nice? Well, not nice, like not nice.
I mean,
he's whenever I see him play, like he's hitting threes.
He's good, but they like to get that production off the bench.
Oh.
But that's what I mean is like we're missing a guy like a Norman Powell or somebody like that, like a Robert Covington. One of those type guys would be perfect for this lineup. Great shooting, very strong defense. We're just missing that small forward to take us to that. I feel like that would be the Bucks tier right there.
How do you feel about Mobley so far this season?
I think he's been good. I think people, myself included, expected him to be a superstar. And I don't know if that's the jump he's taken yet, but he's still a fantastic defender. In his offense last night against the Clippers, he had 26. Like it's coming.
Like who's his comp?
Because
like for Jared Allen, I would say like Jared Allen's like a Gobert with like a hook shot and like could kind of shoot the midi. Like what would Mobley be?
he's like KG without the alpha male. Like he's not the guy who's going to beat his chest in front of you. He's not the guy he's not but he's got the similar skills.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Kevin Garnett, unfortunately. If he was Kevin Garnett, we could be an NBA champion.
I know he can. I know he can guard 3s and 4s. Can he guard like 5 and 2s?
Yeah. They do a lot of lineups where they have Kevin Love at the 4 when Allen goes out to take his break.
Oh, Mobley at the
and then Mobley guards Zubats last night quite a bit. So he's a fantastic defender. He's like KG Light. If he had that alpha male, he'd be trouble. Our next 3 games, we got the Kings, we got the Warriors. That should be fun to see how we match up with those guys. And then the Wolves, and that'll end the West Coast trip for us. I see us going 2-1 at least. If we could go 3-0, that'd be really good going back home. Because when we get back home, we play the Bucks. So that's when we really get a test, see how good we are. All right. Would you rather time? We're at that time of the podcast. I'm going to ask you, which of these 2 players would you want to start your franchise with? Would you rather have Randy Moss or Terrell Owens? A little background on each guy. They both played nearly identical amount of same games. T.O.'s got 1,078 catches. Randy Moss has got 982. T.O.'s got about, what is that? 400 more yards. Randy Moss has got 3 more touchdowns at 156 to 153. T.O. has got 1 more all-time Pro Bowl. Who would you pick out of these 2 guys?
I gotta go with Randy Moss, man. Because T.O., I do think he's a bit underrated because people act like he was Antonio Brown when it came to the antics.
So here's the thing, I think most people have T.O. as the 3rd or 4th best receiver ever.
I know people usually have Rice and Moss above them.
Rice, Moss, and then you're usually T.O. or somebody right in there. He's usually that 3rd or 4th spot. So he's in that conversation.
And then I can't not go with the wide receiver that we named the Moss after. So, yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go with Randy.
Randy Moss also. I would probably side with Randy Moss also because his talent was just beyond what you could really comprehend at the time. You remember, I don't know if you remember, but the year before he went to the Patriots, he played with the Raiders.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he just didn't care. It didn't matter. I think there's that story of some reporter challenging him to run the 40 and Thames, and he ran it in a 4.4. And then the next year he goes to the Patriots and he sets the touchdown receiving record. That level of talent was just different. But Terrell Owens was consistent. He was damn good for a long time. I don't know if you remember, but when the Eagles played in the Super Bowl and he played with that broken leg.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
He was balling with a broken leg. I just think people forget that Terrell Owens was unbelievable also. So I don't think you could really lose with this one. I'm going to go with Randy Moss because I like him as a deep threat a little bit more. But T.O. could go across the middle. He could go deep. He could go underneath. He could really do it all, but it's a very split down the middle. I'm going to go Randy Moss also.
Now, it's crazy. I really got to watching Moss highlights because for something to be called the Moss and it's it sticks and that's crazy.
Well, you got to think Randy Moss would be running behind you. The corner would be here and he'd be here and he'd throw his hand up to Dante Culpepper because he knew he was just going to take off. It's just it was a different level of he was just lightning in the bottle. You couldn't he could not be contained.
Yeah, because I don't think, is there any other thing that's named after a player? We don't call takedowns LeBron. We don't call fadeaway Jordan. But so for something to just be trying to call Moss, insane.
What do you Would you call it's not really the same, but at the same time it's a respect thing. the like shooting something into the trash can Kobe. Like it's a different kind of thing, but like at least it's
Yeah,
named
yeah,
after
yeah,
somebody.
yeah, yeah. But yeah,
Like
yeah, I see what you're saying.
it's a popular thing because of that person.
Yeah. So
But
that would be like the only other thing I could think of.
yeah, I wanted people to know that like while we both ended up taking Randy Moss, T.O. by all accounts has better numbers, and he was so damn good that it was crazy to me that he didn't make the Hall of Fame the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Off the field antics is the most insane reason to not let somebody in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Well, Kenzie, that's the podcast for the day.
Yeah. Luckily, luckily we held it down because no sports day because the election.
Yeah.
Like no NBA games. So yeah, luckily the day's almost over. Then we back at it tomorrow.
Everybody, we appreciate the views. We appreciate the likes on Twitter, on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube at House of Agendas. You'll see our logo on there. Follow us on YouTube or on Twitter. We are active on there all the time, talking. What else do we got, Kenzie? Anything else?
The Instagram, but that's not like the greatest platform for like engagement. Twitter,
Right.
Yeah, Twitter and YouTube is like the best place like to find us and talk to us. Follow the Instagram if you have it, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to be all for us this week. Kenzie's got to go to work. I've got to go figure out what these kids are doing. Have a good rest of your night. Let's ride.